Hello, comic book lovers. It is I, Chris, your broke comic book collector. This is the second time I got to record this because last time I didn't even hit the record button. So I went through this whole thing, screwed it up, tried to fix it, never recorded. Anyway, this video, my wife and I, we were back down in Walt Disney World. We didn't really record anything. I didn't record much of anything, just little clips of things. Maybe I'll put some, I don't know. But we were down there basically visiting with friends, and one day the one couple, they went ahead and took us to where they live. Well, they showed us around, basically. They showed us around because the one thing I've always wanted to do when I go down there is I want to I don't want to go to the parks every day. I want to see what's around. I want to go to, like the flea markets, and if there's garage sales, but there's so many different housing developments, that might be kind of hard to do. But the one day they took us around to show us around Florida, or around Orlando area. And the one place they went, they showed us where they live, but they also wanted to show us an antique store that they have, that the other couple, the husband, also collects comics, and he stops in once in a while, and he usually finds some, they say nice stuff. He never really defined what that was, so I don't know what exactly what it was, but we stopped in at an antique store, and I'm sorry, no video clips. I don't remember the name of it. If I do remember the name of it, I will I'll try to find a picture of it and put it up here just so that, you can see what it is. We went in, what happens when we go to, these flea market places, my wife goes this way, I go that way, we meet up somewhere. That's what happened. She went this way, I went that way. We went to one comic booth, or one booth that had comics, but that booth, there was a light, and that light, it would stay on, then it would flicker and go off. And then it would pop back on, then it would flicker and go off. And so I'm trying to look through these books, and that light would keep going off, and it would drive me up a wall, and I said, screw it. I didn't even finish looking, I just walked out. There was another one way in the back, and that was what I was told is the better one. So we went there, and that's where I did find some halfway decent stuff. I found this 1 in 10 Hulk #1 from Ryan Ottley. I actually like that cover a lot. That's a nice looking cover. But this is the 1 in 10. And I've been trying to pick up well, I've only said it once or twice, but I'm trying to pick up all the DC Rebirth #1s, the one-shots, and the ongoing series. I don't know how many are there. If I see them, oh, I don't have that one, I'll pick it up. So this is Justice League of America #1. This is the ongoing series, and this is the variant cover. So now I have both A and B. And this one was a shocker because I kept looking, and I said, well, I'm going to look this up. This is DC Rebirth Harley Quinn, the ongoing series. This is #1. But this one is, I was surprised, this is a 1 of 1,000, or limited to 1,000 copy. I looked it up while I was on my CLZ, but there's no barcode, so I really couldn't even scan it in to see what it was. So I had to look up the covers, and I finally found this one. And I said, I think that's it, because there's this one, and it's the same thing, but I believe it's colored differently or something. And if I can get a picture, I'll put them up here. But this, I looked at it and said, I think that's a 1 of 1,000. Limited to 1,000 copies. So I just went ahead and bought it just for that sake. And I was finally able to scan it and look at it, and it is the 1 of 1,000. It's the one that is limited to 1,000 copies. Golly, finally got that out. And this, I finally finish off my series. Oh man, this is Crisis on Infinite Earths #1. I finally finished off this series. Got all 12 issues. I mean, it's a nice looking copy. They're all nice looking copies. So I might sit down and read that. This one I got from my brother because he was picking up, because he and I were cartoon people, you know, Saturday morning cartoons, all that stuff. So he was picking up the DC and like the Looney Tunes characters when they teamed up. Like he's got Elmer Fudd and Batman, Aquaman and Jabberjaw. Oh, Wonder Woman. No. Is it Wonder Woman and Taz? I think that's the other one. There might be another one I'm forgetting. Well, I saw this, so I picked this up. This is the Joker and Daffy Duck. So I got to find out all the books in this series, or in this team up, and try to pick them all up and help him finish it off. And this one, I found this. This is the Terminator #1 from Now Comics. This is the first appearance of the Terminator in comics. And I remember my brother having this book. He probably traded it off somewhere. So, pick that up. That's that antique shop. And one of those days we were down there. My wife, the one couple, they went. And the other couple, our friends, the wife went. It's called Halloween Horror Nights. It's at Universal Studios. I would imagine you've heard of it, but if you haven't, it's just they closed down the one half of the park, and the other half of the park, it's all Halloween horror stuff. There was Art the Clown from the Terrifier. He was walking around. They had, I don't know, some houses, like haunted houses kind of things, and they had scare zones. That's not my thing. Sorry, that's not my thing. And the husband of the other couple who didn't go, because he works at Universal and he has that, I want to call it a fight or flight reaction. So if you try to jump scare him, he might turn around and deck you. So he didn't want to go through there and hit another employee and get fired. So he doesn't go. He'll take his wife there, but he won't go. So he and I, let's see if I can get this straight. Before we all left, somebody started Halloween Horror Nights group chat on our phones. So we were always chatting back and forth, you know, what we want to do, this, that, and the other. Well, being I wasn't going and the one husband wasn't going to go, we started, hey, let's just go comic shopping. Great idea. He sent me a couple shops. On TikTok. I don't have TikTok, so I couldn't look at them. But I would look at the names and stuff like that. And then I started looking up my own in the area. And one of them, I didn't care for it. He sent me. And so I started looking around. And I found one on Facebook. It's called Living Dead Comics. And I have to apologize again. I was more interested in just, you know, hanging out with my buddy, going comic shopping. So I didn't film anything. I didn't get pictures or nothing. So I looked on internet. I did find some pictures on the internet. I'm going to put them in here. At least you can see what it kind of looks like. We went into Living Dead, and the first thing I noticed, it's not like what I thought it would be. It is like an old school comic shop, and I like them. But this one, it had like stacks of comic boxes, 3 or 4 high, using them as tables. So if you wanted to look at something, you had to tear all these comic boxes off to look at that bottom box. And we didn't have all the time in the world, so I wasn't about to do that. So I just kind of flipped through boxes, looked on the wall, didn't really see much. Well, I did wind up picking up one book. Now my buddy, he was there. He's a big Turtles guy. So he was just pulling turtle figures off the wall and stuff like that. And that's what he was getting. But I only found the one book, and that book, is Flash number 187. This is the Wally West series, volume 2. It's a Brian Boland cover. This is the only book I picked up there. It says 9.2 back here. I don't know if maybe that's what they're saying this book is. I don't know. It's in good shape. So after there, my buddy he pre-ordered a book. I think the artist was going to be there. He was trying to describe it to me, and I didn't totally understand it. I think the artist was going to be in 1 week signing. Well, he wanted to get the book signed, but he wasn't going to be in town, or he was working or something like that. So he wanted to go there to see if he prepaid for the whole book, would they get it signed, and he'd like come in next week or something like that. That place was called Blackbird Comics and Coffee, or Coffee and Comics, something like that. Again, I'll put up pictures. I wasn't going to go in because having a coffee house attached to a comic book store didn't seem interesting to me. So I wasn't going to go in. I was going to let him go in, do his thing, and we were going to leave. But what the hell? I went in, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, you walk in, coffee shop over here, comics over there. It wasn't like what I thought it was going to be. So it was actually not a bad place. They didn't have an overall huge selection of comics. But I did find, again, Flash number 163. Again, it's in pretty nice shape. It's in really nice shape. But with this Flash and that Flash, I am 2 books short of finishing off that second volume of the Flash. Minus the annuals. I don't know. I think I have 2 or 3 of those to go to. But so now I'm 2 books short on that Flash. And then another place I sent him, maybe we can go check it out. He looked it up. It's called Coliseum of Comics. Now it's a chain. I think there's one in Tampa. There's like 2 or 3. I think there's 3 around Orlando. Well, we were sitting at the Blackbird coffee house place, and he said, well, there's one here, one there, and one over there. The one I heard, the bigger of all of them would have been an hour away, and I didn't want him driving an hour away, because we would basically pass his house to go clear on the other side of Orlando to come all the way back when we were done, and I didn't want him to do that. So I said, okay, which one is closer to your house? So he said, it's this one. I said, all right, so that way we just go to that one and then head back to your place. So that was Coliseum of Comics. That sounds right. Coliseum of Comics. I want to say it's Millennial. I think that's the name of it. I think it's because it's on that road, I believe. But that's Coliseum of Comics, Millennial. That doesn't sound right. But that's... Anyway, we went there. That store was pretty cool. It was all these shops were owned by younger people. And that was kind of nice to see. The coffee shop one, that was younger. Coliseum, that was younger. The Living Dead, there was a younger guy behind the counter. Then there was an older guy off to the side. So I'm assuming the younger guy owned it. Not sure. But Coliseum was clean. They had a good selection on the wall. They had your graphic novels. It was kind of a mix between old school and new comic stores. But this one, we started looking around. I checked the wall because I was like, I want to buy something off the wall, but I couldn't find something on the wall I really wanted. If they had Thor 126, that'd have been one I'd picked up, but they didn't have it. But I did have my list with me, so I was looking, and one book I was looking for, like I said, Saturday Morning Cartoons, Dudley Do-Right #1. I believe, I can't find out for sure, I do believe this is the first appearance of Dudley Do-Right in comics. It's a chip up there in the corner. There are some, I don't know if these are coming through dings down there. There's, looks like a little corner crunch right there. But there's a staining up there. I just saw that. But I mean, other than that, the spine doesn't look all that bad. But yeah, Dudley Do-Right #1. Now, I was down there, I was looking for Saturday morning cartoons. That's what I was looking for. They had Magilla Gorilla #1, first appearance of Magilla Gorilla in comics. But that book was, I mean, it was bad. It was really chewed up, and I didn't like the conditions. I wasn't going to pay for that. They had Top Cat #1, first appearance of Top Cat. For what they wanted, I wasn't overly comfortable paying for that. And they had 4-color 1040, first appearance of Quick Draw McGraw. Again, that one, it was, I mean, all up here, it was like some kind of, I don't know if it was black ink or if it was some kind of mold or staining. It was written all over the cover. And again, what they were asking for it, I wasn't comfortable paying. So what I wound up doing, these last books still on my list, but not for Saturday morning cartoons. This is Showcase #74. They had, I don't know the name of it, or the number of it. It's Showcase, and it's the first appearance of Bwana Beast. He was in Titans on Max, if you've ever watched that. And I wanted it, not because of that, I wanted it before, but then I realized, you know, this was the same character. But that book was a really sharp copy, but I didn't want to pay what they wanted for it. So this, Showcase 74, is the first appearance of Anthro, is a caveman guy. So again, it's a good looking copy. I do like the copy, is very nice. It's a really nice, clean copy. And then I grabbed Justice League #56, just a battle, a classic battle between Justice League and Justice Society. But when I got it home, then I really looked at it. I mean, I did see the spine ticks and stuff, but I didn't, you can't see it. Up here, I never had it out of the bag. It looks like it's split up here. Where did I see that? This staple's rusted. So is that one. So, I mean, all in all, I should have skipped it and went and grabbed. There was another Justice League I wanted, but should have picked that one up, or maybe even picked up that Top Cat or Quick Draw. But anyway, that's what I picked up. So, comic book lovers, that's my little haul of Florida comic shopping, if you will. But until next video, comic lovers, be kind to one another, be your own collector, and I will see you later.